god, you have so many. Holy shit, Dahlia.
If we wanted, we could turn the table so this end is facing that way. So then we would both be like
in the center and
like Scarlett can be the intro noise.
Come bring her to the front. Let her do a little cameo.
Scarlett, good?
Yes.
No, Scarlett, look this way.
Yes.
Yours again.
Say something, Scarlett. Say something.
Say meow.
She does not care.
We got it. That movie was really good. Everything, everywhere.
I thought Batman was gonna win until that movie came out, bro. That shit is so good. Bella took me, bro. Just like I didn't even know what she was talking about. She's like,
you didn't even really want to see it.
No, cause I was like, bro, this shit sounds goofy as fuck. What? And then it started, and I was like, oh no, what did I get myself into, bro? Bro, because I was like, where's the plot? Where is this plot? There's nothing. Like we're just following these people like getting divorced or some shit.
Yeah, about the.
It went from 0 to 100 in that second part, bro.
When Shotty literally beat that officer with just two dildos, bro. Oh my god.
Bro, that motherfucker was trying to land on the fucking dildo. I was like,
oh no.
That was funny as fuck. I'm not even.
you'll need water?
I could use some water. I'm hot. Gerard, this whole fucking time, even on the freeway, he put this shit window blast all the way down. And he was trying to comment with me. I'm like, Gerard, I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
This motherfucker always gotta have the window down.
I'm like, there's a thing called AC. You bugging.
Can you hear me eating?
Yes, bro. Don't be eating to the mic.
I chew so loud I can't even hear myself through the headset.
Gerard.
Huh.
I've been trying to learn Spanish, and right now I'm in a segment where you have to learn all the clothing parts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Zoe's been trying to teach me.
Okay.
So I need to know what gloves in Spanish means.
I cannot tell you. I really don't know.
What does glove in Spanish mean?
It's guantes.
Want this dick in your mouth? We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Dahlia Lee. I will be your host. Actually, welcome to the first episode of this podcast. I have some very welcoming guests today. Everybody introduce yourself. We'll go this way. First, we have...
I'm Bella Hansen. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Gerard.
Hey, I'm Zoe.
All right. And so before I start asking questions, basically what this podcast is going to be about is that there's no hinges to this. There's no really... Basically, the sky is the limit. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions, they answer, and I give perspective, and we'll just keep bouncing back and forth. Okay? So, the first question, which Bella actually helped me decide, was, did your parents ever have the sex talk with you? What was it like, and when was it? Anybody can go first.
I think it was like sophomore year in high school. My mom literally took me to like the condom section.
Oh no.
And she goes, okay, I showed you where the condoms are, and literally just left it at that. There's nothing else after. She just said, all right, I had to talk with you. If you get any self in trouble, it's on you. So that's literally it.
Was it effective?
Was it effective?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially since it was my cousin at the time. He had a child at 18, so she was like pretty worried about that.
Okay. Bella or
bad.
Gerard, would you like to?
I forgot when I had it. It might have either been like middle school or early high school, and I just remember coming home. Mom and Dad were just sitting on the couch, and they're just like, "Yo, we gotta have to talk." And it's just like, okay. And it was just like, yeah, no, better not be having sex and whatnot. You know, like the standard typical kind of like stern parents, like no sex before marriage, all that kind of stuff. Especially because like my parents had me when they were like really young. So.
Wait, pause. How young were they when they had you?
Shit. I want to say, if not like 19, 20-ish. Like it was very
Really?
young. Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't even know that. I thought your parents were older.
19, 20-ish? No, I can relate to that because my parents had my brother when she was 17. He's 41 now. And my sister's 37, so she had her like a couple of years later. So I'm like the youngest. I was like, I got a big gap. The big gap between me and my sister is like 16 years.
Damn, that's almost like me and my sister.
Yeah,
it's
so
like 11 years.
so she would be taking me to places, and they would be thinking that like I'm her kid. I'm like,
I had
nah,
the
we
same
just
shit with my
we just
sister.
sisters. Bella?
I think it happened in like 2 stages. The first stage was the American Girl doll puberty book, where like it shows like the development of like girls' bodies over time.
I had
That's
that.
a thing?
Yeah. Literally, I remember we went to the Mall of America and she bought the book at the American Girl doll store there and then made me and my sisters read it. And then didn't really say anything else until I was in high school and I got caught with my boyfriend at the time's underwear in the basement. And then she had to talk with me. My mom had to talk with me again and was like, I just want you to be safe and like, I don't know what's going on, but please wear condoms, stuff like that.
Damn.
I feel like scare tactics don't really work.
You know, my parents never had the sex talk with me. They told me, my dad, when we were not talking on the way from work, like just this year, he was like, Dahlia, I want you to know that like whatever like you're gonna do, make sure it's with the right person and make sure that if you really want a kid, it's a real big commitment. And like,
I feel like that's a way better talk than what any of like, cause I don't know, my parents didn't really do anything about it, so.
Yeah, like they never. My mom never taught me how to use a tampon. My mom never taught me how to use like with the period stuff. I was like,
how'd you learn that shit then?
I just was like there. Like when I had my period, I was like, all right, cool. So, how's it work? And it took me like a while to figure.
Tampon is hard at first.
Bro, like it's not easy.
Did your dad teach you how to shave?
No.
Yeah, because apparently that's like a pretty big guy thing too. Like like the guy dad like teaches them like
Did
how
your
to
dad
shave.
ever teach you?
Nope.
Damn, really?
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I guess
So-
my mom never showed me how to, like, when I started shaving my legs, it was from, like, a friend in middle school who, like,
Yeah,
showed me.
same. Like I had a friend in like elementary school who taught me how to straighten my hair and like teach me how to shave my legs and stuff like that. But like,
I shaved for like wrestling. That was the reason I
Oh,
shaved.
no.
why did you shave for wrestling? You gotta
Bro,
be like butt
we
ass
had-
naked bare.
No, because I don't know what
They're
the
like
thing
you gotta
was.
be
They were
smooth
like,
as a baby.
Well, have you seen the uniform?
no, because I had
Those
peach
shits
fuzz.
are
I had
goofy.
peach fuzz at the time, so it's just like it wasn't actual facial hair. It was just literally just like little hairs all like on my lip, and they're like, you gotta shave. I was like,
They
"Damn."
made you shave?
Yeah.
That's so
Do you
weird.
remember that shit,
No.
Wait,
No,
were
they
both
made
of
us-
you in wrestling?
bro?
Yeah.
But because you have facial hair more before I did, and they didn't say shit to you.
No, but I just had to wear that cap.
Oh, it's probably because you had the chin strap shit on it. Because mine was exposed.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was on my like the mustache, but like the rest of it wasn't.
Okay, so with that being said, did you guys ever have like really strict parents? And like what would slide, what wouldn't?
Depends. I mean, my parents were understanding enough of at least what it means to like be a kid, but they had obviously like stricter rules about what I was doing and who I was hanging out with. Cause like
So like, okay, let's say you like kicking it back with your homies and you want to like go hang out. What would usually go down?
I'd probably have to do some sort of chore before I left. So
Damn, really?
So I would have to either have
Me
like
too. Yeah.
like
Y'all
make sure,
too?
yeah,
Mhm.
have my room cleaned, and I had to make sure that I either hypothetically like dishes weren't done or some random chore that like, cause we didn't have like rotating chores at my house,
Mm-hmm.
so it would have been like, I don't know, someday we're like, go clean the windows first. I'm like,
Literally. Or
Alright.
my mom would make
Some
me clean the
random
screen
shit.
door.
literally
Like, wipe
What?
down the door
no, for,
first.
for Gerard, that shit was way.
Oh, yeah, I know, bro.
I feel like though that teaches y'all like a lot of discipline because like,
I feel like there's
when-
different ways of teaching that shit.
There's
though.
a thin line. It's a
Yeah.
thin line of it, though.
okay,
know.
explain that. Like what you mean?
I mean, it teaches discipline, but it can also cause, I would say, almost like trauma, you know, like with strict parents, you know, because growing up, my parents, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Like
whole
you
9
gotta like
yards.
be on your toes about that. Like walk around eggshells.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
and all
like
it
being
really-
at Gerard's house, I got that like, I don't know, it was like an environment that you had to like show like different respect there.
And what I say that like strict parenting is the wave, not really, because all it did is it just caused me and my siblings just to become extremely sneaky and to get really good at lying. So it's like at times I help like for having like respect for like your elders and adults and stuff like that, but in other aspects it's like it was not very helpful at all.
It's not
No.
worth it. Also makes, like, when you're adults, like, it does not make you want to stay by your parents. Or, like,
Yeah.
like you don't want to
like,
visit as much because it's not like a very safe
Yeah, no one
environment
wants to be
all the
walking on eggshells all the time.
That's what I feel too. Like when I wouldn't say my parents are really strict, but they're very traditional and they're very like They always have something to say, always something. And I'm like, bro, like, why are you talking like this? I just want to, like, be your family and, like, be able to hang around with you while not resenting you.
Literally. Well, then, I mean, I don't know. Well, my parents, like, I was very reserved of, like, what I would tell my parents, like, what about my friends, like, who they actually were, because I would have to pick and choose what I wouldn't think they would get mad at. And, like, then they would get mad at me because I wasn't opening up enough to them. But then the second I did say something, I would get grounded or some shit.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, parents always be saying, like, you can come to me, you can talk to me about anything, but then when they do, it's you get, like, guilted about it, and you start to feel like, well, why should I even tell you in the first place?
Literally.
You know?
Because that happened with my parents when I told them my first grade crush was, and my dad was on my ass daily.
First grade?
First
Yeah.
grade, they can't even let you, like,
Nah,
have a little crush.
I mean, they would be like, "Ooh, you're hanging out with Paige or whatever," because that's who I liked at the time, and it was just like, after that, he's like, "Do you like even like girls or whatever?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I do, but I just like don't want like tell you because y'all be clowning me all the time. Like, what's the point?" And it's just like, I don't know, like. There are times where I would have wanted like a closer relationship with like a friendship thing, but I also don't mind it where it's like you have certain boundaries because they are your parents.
Yeah, they're your parents. Like,
at the end of the day,
there's a certain, like, hierarchy that they're always gonna be on while you're just their kid. Because I always think about it like a lot. Like, I've only known I've known my parents my whole life, or like my whole life, but they've had a whole other life before me. So it's like, what were they like when they were a kid?
That is crazy. Like, literally, I was just talking to my sister about that yesterday. I'm like, you do realize, like, when we have kids, like, they won't ever know, like,
they
this
don't
version
know,
of us ever.
right?
You know,
For
like, they only know us from
real.
the time
That's
they're born
scary.
do you
on.
want them like? Would you want your kid to know that? Because like, I wouldn't mind them knowing who I am. Like, sure, I might got my own flaws and shit, but I don't know. Like, I could go back and forth on that shit.
I
all
mean,
the time.
most stuff I feel like they could know when they're older. Like, you can't
Yeah.
tell them everything you're doing now.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't be telling my kids, like, oh yeah, I smoked a hella bunch of weed, blah blah blah, go do that right now. Like, that's just crazy.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with it because I mean, if I tell them I smoked weed, like I could tell them I smoked weed for like a year and then some, like daily, like like it's not, it ain't that fun after a while. Like I'd be like Holmes, you just gonna be like, damn, I need weed to like fucking like walk around.
No.
Like you don't want to get to that point. And it's just like you can use weed to like have fun. I'm not saying that it's like alcohol, but. I feel like if you tell them who you are, but then like what the other downsides of it, I feel like it wouldn't be that bad.
So, like, what were your parents like then, Bella?
It was so confusing growing up because it was like walking on eggshells sometimes. I don't know. My parents were very
I feel like
back
your parents
and
are
forth.
pretty chill though.
They
Zoe hesitated.
Every few days, it's like I'll go home and visit.
Like,
for,
you don't know what to expect?
No, like say I'll go home for like the weekend because I want to hang out with my little sisters, and then it's like it's super fun when I get there and like my mom will take me shopping or something like that. But then it's like, oh no, my little sister Gabby left like something on her floor. Now like the whole house has shifted because my mom saw it, or like something like that. Like it's just like it's just back and forth. Like it could be chill one day and then literally.
I mean, that's
like,
how it kind of was at my place, but my parents never showed out in front of my friends, like ever. Like
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I would get in
Wait,
trouble.
what you mean by that? Showed out?
Like they would never actually like be who they like are to me
Oh,
compared to
they
like,
have
my
a different
friends.
persona.
Oh, most definitely, because
I feel like that's every parent though. Like they always want to seem like the nice parent, really polite. Like they don't be like doing that to their kid, yelling at their kid like that. Because like you. If I came into like a house where like they started yelling at their kids, I'd be like, I'm in the wrong environment.
Literally. But like I don't know, cause like I mean, I would get in trouble and then Gerard would come over and then literally ring the doorbell and like try to talk to my mom like about that shit, and she'd be like, alright, whatever, I don't give a fuck, right? But then after that I'd be like having to do extra chores.
Yeah,
because of
Gerard,
that shit.
you were really polite with your parents. Like I remember like when we were in the car one time we were driving, like he was on the phone with his grandma or something about school, and me and Zoe had to be like dead silent while he was like, yes ma'am, blah 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 blah, and I was like, damn, I never like really had to do all that kind of stuff. I mean, my parents were like, the only thing my parents were really bugging about was like me going out a lot of times, because I'd always go out because I didn't want to be home because I wouldn't do anything with my parents that much.
My parents called me homeless for a time in summer because
Why?
Because of how often I would go out. Like I would go to Fabio's place and I'd go hang out Gerard, and then I'd go somewhere else because I didn't want to be home. Like I would have sleepovers at my place, but it's just like I go home, I game, I go downstairs, I get either like some, I don't know, you didn't do, your room is dirty or some shit. And it's like, bro, I'm trying to talk. It's like 7 a.m, bro. Why am I getting scolded right now?
Yeah,
like I'm eating Eggos and waffles right now.
I think there's just sort of a little like independency that you want to feel when you're at like that age, because like I remember like I would want to go out all the time and I would just want to go hang out and
Because
like
that shit was fun.
it was fun, yeah. And like if you have parents that you don't necessarily want to hang out with like on a regular basis, or at least have a good relationship with, then it's like, why stay home?
And it goes to my brothers too, because like it's hard to talk to like siblings when your parents are also strict, because then you have to make sure that your sibling doesn't like snitch on you.
No,
Damn,
y'all
not
gotta
even
think
snitch
about
on you.
that.
Like texting my siblings, like it's always like if we're talking about something regarding my parents, we're always like delete the text right after we send them, because
Really?
Or like
You
with
don't
my
wanna-
brother, like Bella was there because my sister snitched on my brother about him getting some straightener like on his back by accident, right, at school. And my sister told my mom, and my mom got mad because my brother didn't tell her.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, my brother came, I picked him up one day and he's like, yeah, I got burnt by a straightener or some shit at like school because some girl was like straightening her hair or some shit.
At school?
Wait, pause.
Yeah.
She got a straightener.
That's literally what I was wondering. But I was like, anyways, I'm just going to go with the story, right? And he's like kept on going. And then my sister was in the car. And then the next day, my brother came in. He was mad. Like he went straight to his room, didn't say hi to the kiddies or anything. And then I had to talk. He's like, well, he told like on my mom. He's like, why didn't you want to tell mom? Because he's like, she's going to overreact, right? So it's just like, I don't want to, like, it goes for my brothers too. Where like I'm gonna tell you something that I know won't get me in trouble, but I know will be helpful for you.
Damn. So you gotta look at each other like that?
Or like if when I was younger, my sister or my brother started crying and be like, shut up, and be like, bro,
Oh, yeah.
No,
like it ain't that
Yeah,
serious,
bro.
bro.
That's why it's nice when they grow up, because like now my youngest sister is 13, so like she kind of understands all that kind of stuff now regarding our parents. Like we can talk more than we could before without like all of us getting in trouble. But
See, like my siblings saw me grow up. Like I didn't talk about them with all this kind of stuff. Like I just recently told my sister like everything that's going on in my life and like all the stuff that I do and like all the things that I like can talk about. I think it's because we're both at an age where it's like we're growing up. We don't need to like be on our toes about what our mom or dad is gonna think, or like if we're gonna tell our mom or dad, because
How was it having such a big age difference?
it felt really like,
Do they feel like siblings or did they feel more like parents? Because at some points I feel like a parent to my sister more than I do a brother.
so like the way that my brother and my sister, we like right now I'm close with my siblings on my mom's side, and that's just how it always was. Like nothing against my siblings on my dad's side, we're just not as close, you know. And so with my brother and my sister, they would always hang out. Like they always had the same friend group, and my brother had a girlfriend that like my sister always hung out with. And I think eventually my brother would always like take my sister along wherever he goes, she goes too. Like they hang out, they go to the movies, they go to the mall, they go shopping, they go whatever, they go out to eat. And that's what my sister wanted for me. So whenever she went to the fair, she'd bring me. Whenever she would go to the movie, she'd bring me. She would throw my birthday parties, because my parents didn't throw my birthday parties. They wouldn't like celebrate my birthday, so my sister would. And like my sister was always like someone who wanted me to feel included in everything, even though that she knew that like I had friends and like I could always like help her like with anything, and her with me.
Yeah,
So
vice versa. Yeah.
I think that like for a while I didn't tell her, because like she's a millennial sister. Like we're in a different like generation, so maybe she wouldn't understand the things that I tell her. But after telling her like all these things, it was so chill. I was like, oh, this is really nice, like having like someone to tell all of the things that I think, and having her wisdom and kind of like her age, because she says that like at her age, she's 37 right now, she's feel like she's just starting her adult life, whereas
37?
like yeah, like when she's telling me, she's like, I wish that I had like what you were doing, like you're going out to like go do this and this and this and like live your life, because she was always telling me like when you're in your 20s are like mainly the best years of your life, because you're at such an age where like you have all this freedom to do whatever, and now you have other people to ask about advice for like things that you could do when you want to settle down and like be a big adult. So What was the question that you asked me?
How was it? Like, do you think like they're more parents, or do you think you see them more as like a sibling? Like,
At first,
or like a mentor?
At first, I saw them as a mentor, someone that like I just had to look up to. But now I see them almost like an equal. Like, yeah, my sister has her own house. Yeah, my sister's got like a job, like a big kid job and like all that stuff. But now it's just like, it's chill. Like, she's got this thing where like she knows that I just turned freshly 21. So like I still got that young little mindset. But she doesn't like tell me what to do. She doesn't like tell me like, she doesn't try to like dictate my life for me. But she'll always like put her insight, because I always go to her from her insight, because she's older than me. She's got more experience.
You know.
Yeah.
It's literally like that for me and my younger sister.
How old is your younger sister again?
She's 18.
Damn. Wait, so she just graduated this year?
Last year.
Last year? Okay.
Yeah. It's like that, but it's like, I feel like for me growing up, her and I guess me and just my older sister and my younger sister, we've always just kind of been close, because we kind of all went through the same thing in my household. And my house is it was chaotic a lot of times, you know. So we kind of realized, like, you know, we can't really tell our friends about this, because like they don't understand what's going on in our house. So
right.
It's like we kind of had to really stay close, because we were the only people that we could really talk to. I could only talk to really my older sister and my younger sister, because they were the ones who actually really got it, you know. But I feel like as I got older, I began to see my younger sister, like, the things I would say to her regarding like my emotions, I could start to see them rub off. Like, I remember there was one time I told her a story about how I would sneak out with Zoe and we'd do our stuff and whatnot.
Our stuff.
Okay, well,
Yo,
not
that
like
sounds
that.
sus. What are you talking about?
I won't go into details on that shit.
But ding dong ditch and shit.
Oh,
we
okay. Like just like kid stuff.
Yeah, we do dumb shit, you know. But after I told her like a bunch of our stories, because we used to go all the time, literally following up like a couple of days later, I caught her trying to sneak out of my sister's room, because I stay downstairs, and then my sister Jasmine.
How old is she?
23, 24.
Okay.
I got her trying to sneak
And
out.
so she was sneaking out of her room?
Yeah, because Jayla, she stays upstairs.
And
right
that's
next to mine.
your Jayla's younger,
Yes,
and then
Jayla's the youngest, Jasmine's the oldest, I'm the middle.
Okay.
And my sister Jayla, she stays like right by my parents' room. But I sit downstairs, and Jasmine, she used to be the room like right across from mine downstairs. And so when Jayla's like, I'm just gonna sleep down here. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I'm like, so at like 11, 12 o'clock, I'm like, what is she doing? So I go in there, open the door, and I see her halfway through the window trying to sneak out. I'm like, dude, get back in the house, man. What are you doing?
But you were doing the same thing.
I know, but it's weird. And you can call me a hypocrite.
Oh, because like she's your little sister.
Yes, and I want to be safe. And I hear too many stories about people getting snatched up. And it's like the last
Especially
thing,
being a girl.
the last thing I want to hear is to get a knock at my door from the police saying, hey, do you know anything about this person or whatnot? You know, heard this or that, and that's just the last thing I want to hear. And I'd feel completely at fault, because I'd be like, if I didn't tell her that story, would she have still done it? So I really had to be careful on the things I do say to her. And yeah, that's kind of our relationship. I know with Jasmine, it's not.
It's not the same?
No, like we're tight, you know, but it's like, with her I can be more open-minded and speak a lot more than what I would normally say to my younger sister, just because she's older than me. She does her own thing now, so it's different, and I don't feel as if it's much of like an effect on her, you know. So yeah.
Dang. So like, would you say that like you're closer with your younger sister?
Yes, because I know that she literally just will tell me just anything going on.
Really?
Like, yeah, I know her and I, we're close, you know.
Would you two say that you're closer with your younger or your older sister? I mean, you're older, or wait, you don't have any older. Would you say which sibling would you be closer to?
Probably my younger two sisters.
And how many siblings you got?
3. My other sister's older. She's
And
22.
the age differences? 22, 13?
I'm 20 and 13 and 15.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have more memories with Ian because he's just older, but
yeah, but like I'm saying, like
I don't have a preferred one, because
really,
no,
not even like a little bit.
No, because I see myself in both. I mean, I see Ava because she has like the energy, right?
Yeah, she's goofy.
Yeah, she obviously has ADHD like I do, right?
Yeah.
And then my brother, he's more.
Okay, Zoe, pause. One time when I was taking care of your cats, I came to like your house and I was like, damn, like did the cats mess up the house or something? And I was looking around. There's a fucking scary ass baby in a stroller that's
Oh my god.
that
The cracker
just scared me.
baby.
No, that one scared me. I like was like turning around a corner just to get water for the cats and I was like, damn, like I don't know
No,
if I
yeah,
can
she's
stay
in the
here.
baby
And this was
stage
at
right
night
now.
too.
No, yeah, she has the baby stage right now. But no, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I've told my brother more about who I am, but because he's seen more of me, and he's starting to get in high school where he's obviously gonna start doing a lot of dumb shit and a lot of good stuff at the same time. So it's just gonna be like, you know.
So
But
your parents moved. Sorry. So your parents moved to El Paso. Do you think it's a weird shift for them to move there? Like, do they?
Nah. I feel like, so the whole plan was, so I was born in Juarez, right? And then the bordering town is
Don't touch
literally,
the cords too much.
oh, the bordering town is literally El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad had a job there, and then that means that my dad had a job in Juarez, which also had insurance for like anything that happens in America, because he would travel back and forth a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had me in a hospital, so I got American citizenship. And the thing that a lot of kids do in that town is that the parents in Juarez will drop off the kids at the border. The kids will then cross the border, grab a bus, and go to school, come back, and the parents would pick them up. That was the plan for me from the beginning. But my dad had the opportunity to get citizenship, to get sent to America. So and that was his dream for the longest. So we moved up here, and then they lost all their friends. They lost family, right? The ability to see them every so often. And then they got a bunch of friends. It was supposed to be a 3-year trip. That's how long, like, we were supposed to be in Minnesota.
And then, damn.
But 3 years turned into 14. Damn. So then they were like, my mom was like, I've had enough. My mom's getting old. She can't travel up as much. We barely see them just once a year. Like, if you count that, and she has 7 years left, that's 7 times I get to see my mom. Like, she's like, fuck no. I want to see her, like, when I want. I want to drive, cross the border, come back. So it's been a pretty good change for them.
Did what about your siblings? Like, were they like, damn, like I gotta move all the way across the country for a new school?
I don't think they ever experienced it. So
like, cause when
I don't think, like, as a child, like, even like when we moved, I never conceptualized the distance, how long Texas from Minnesota is, and the same thing for me. Like, when they said we're going to Minnesota, I thought it was just like a couple blocks down the street. Even when we took the airplane, it didn't feel like anything, right? But then as you get older, you kind of realize, damn, that shit is fucking far. Like, that's a 21-hour drive, like, you know?
Yeah, like when you told me that you drove all the way, like you and Bella drove, I was like,
Oh, no, it was my mom, too.
oh.
Yeah, I was with my mom, so it was
okay,
just like
okay.
3 shifts. So it
I was
just,
like,
it wasn't
damn,
bad.
both of you were like trucking through it because
No, my dad drove that shit by himself.
by himself.
Yeah, with my
With
sister.
Ava.
I was
Yeah.
like, or your dad's like, Ava, you drive now.
Literally.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, I think it was like a 3-day trip for him. So
Damn. So okay, and your siblings?
What's the question again?
who's your favorite?
Like who's
Or, I
my
guess,
yeah, like
closest
who would
to,
you
I guess.
who would you consider closest to and like why? Okay, sorry guys, we had the video cut out, but well, we're back to it. Anyways, your siblings?
Yeah, I think it depends. I feel like I'm closer to with my older sister with regards to like stuff, like, cause I can talk to her about like stuff with like my parents. But then like I feel like I'm closer in like a more friendship kind of way to like my younger siblings. I don't know. I feel like our personalities mesh a lot better, and we kind of had like, I think my little siblings like took a lot after me, to be honest. Like the things they like their style, kind of like their senses of humor too. Not to take credit, but
She can take credit. You can take credit.
But I don't know. I think I have a very fun time with my younger siblings, and like they can also talk to me about stuff if they want to.
Was it ever switched, like you couldn't completely ever talk to them about anything? Or like did it just like kind of like as you gradually knew they were growing up?
I mean, it all happened, I feel like, during, like, when COVID first hit, because I was staying in the dorms, and then I had to go back home to, like, live with my family when we were kicked out of the dorms. And then I think my little sister, Lily, was, like, 12 when that happened. So, like, she was just hitting, like,
Lily
her
was
end of-
12? Oh, yeah,
yeah,
she's 14.
Or I guess maybe she was 13. But, like, she was kind of just hitting that phase where, like, she's kind of, like, maturing and, like, I don't know, her personality was maturing a little more because she was just coming from like beginning of middle school to like finishing that and almost going to high school. So I don't know, I was able to connect with them a lot more too. And then I couldn't go anywhere, so I was like with my little sisters the entire time. But
See,
that was
like
nice.
when I was in COVID, I was home, but then I came up here with my sister. You're right then, because I was traveled up with my sister, and that's when I started like feeling really close, because I never really like lived with my sister for that long of time, and like it's such an enclosed space where you couldn't go nowhere except like hang out with your friends if you wanted to.
No, I was dead ass just talking to Gerard on the mic probably most of the time.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you and Gerard have been homies. Like, you guys have been, like, whenever I was like thinking of like Gerard, I would always think of Zoe. Whenever I think of Zoe, I think of Gerard, because you guys were just like friends. Besties for life.
Literally.
Yes, sir.
Since 8th grade, I think.
What made you even guys like want to be friends with each other?
There's nothing that like ever like attracted me like Gerard. Like it was
Whoa,
Not
what?
like that. Not like that.
Okay.
No,
but
no.
but it was just like, you know, it was track and field, right? I met him there, and we would race all the time. You know, I'd always try to beat him. He'd always beat me, and then like that was literally like the whole thing. And then I got a ride from him one day, and then I think it was like the middle of the summer. Gerard hits me up, hey bro, do you want to hit like hang out?
Bro, you missing out on the laser tag, bro. That's where it all started.
Laser tag?
Yes, bro. When your parents, it was for, I think it was for Ian's birthday. Remember when they bought like that home, the little like.
With Eric Thompson?
Yes, bro.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Yes, bro. That was like the first time we hung out, and then afterwards, and it's like, yo, bro, what's the word? You know?
On the
That-
no, because I thought it was when you freshly moved.
Yeah. No. After I moved, I remember it was the laser
Oh, then
tag.
well I had that shit backwards.
Yes, bro.
But no, yeah, it was from there, and then I would literally go to his house, and he had Call of Duty, he had PS4, he had the like freshest shit ever, and then we'd play 2K, we'd get mad at each other, we'd stop talking for like an hour, and then someone would say some dumb shit, and then that'd be it. And
I
then-
always
Well, this is
think
kinda
it's kind of crazy how like you meet people and like how similar you guys could be, and if it weren't for like this thing because of like school or like whatever the like common factor was.
I
you
I
guys-
don't think so. I think it's
Really?
just shared interests. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone like in our friend group.
Especially like when we were in high school.
I mean, think about it. We're all minorities, bro. In Prior Lake,
but like, what about?
and we all had similar tastes in things.
Oh.
See, like
Yeah, there's not a
I feel like
difference.
subconsciously the whole fact that we were minority also drew us together.
Because it felt like we were seen. Because when we
No, I felt like we didn't have to be seen.
Well, almost felt
No,
like a
'cause,
place
like-
of belonging.
That's
yeah,
what I
it's
mean.
like-
no, yeah, now it's what I mean, because like
Because I would walk through Prior Lake feeling like I'm
I
being
feel like
seen
damn,
24/7. Like
I'm like an outcast. Like
Yeah.
we were in like a predominantly white area, and like we had like only like majority of white kids just be there, and like the white kids were like I had always this like stigma against like
I never thought about
minority-
it until after like high school.
they
Like
would
I never
they
thought
would
about
say
like
some
my
out of pocket
friends.
shit. And
Like
I was
I always
like,
thought I had
damn.
more white friends than I had like I guess.
No, like the guy friends that we were friends with, like they were all like majority minorities.
That's what I'm saying. Like I never thought about that, but then I don't know. Cause me and Gerard, we had I had like 3 friend groups in high school.
But wouldn't you say yours is different because your school was more like diverse?
Washburn isn't that diverse.
It's more diverse
Than
than Prior Lake.
Well, I mean, it don't
But,
take
like-
it takes a nickel to fix that.
Literally, I think growing up, like going through elementary school, I remember there was a point in time, like in elementary, middle school, where I would be one of 2 people of color in the entire class, or like, and then it's like I'm mixed, so it's like half of that.
When that shit hits you guys,
What you mean?
like that you're like a foreigner, I guess.
Literally grade school, like maybe like first grade, because like I remember my mom would bring me like sometimes like lunch from home, and it'd be like some foreign food, like I don't know, whatever, and they would like there's a thing that they call like the yuck your yum, which is like you bring your like your cultured food, and then people be like, ew, gross. I'm like, bro, you got Lunchables. My mom got that from Cub
bologna
Foods.
sandwich.
I was like, no, like my mom cooked my meal. My mom gave it to me. My mom made it with her heart. She made sure I was eating good. Like, I don't want to eat bologna sandwiches every day.
That shit didn't hit me till middle school.
Really?
Even as actually being a, like
in
a
the
full
bus,
immigrant.
in the
like,
bus
type
in
shit.
grade school, like they would say some out of pocket shit about like me eating dogs, me like having smaller eyes, me like they would like mock an accent. I was like, what the fuck? Like it didn't really bother me because I think at that age I was just trying to fit in, so I would let it slide, you know. I'd be like, yeah, that's like like, haha, that's so funny. Like, I try to like not let them make myself feel bad about that. But I'd be thinking about that. I'm like, damn, like, is there a difference? Like, if they're white and I'm not, like, I wouldn't want to like. So that's why I try to like fit in. I guess like that part of me wanted to fit in so badly. But with like you guys, it's like I don't ever feel that way. I don't ever like feel like I like telling you guys about like my culture, and I like hearing about yours, and I like that all that kind of stuff. Where because like you guys have your own individuality.
It feels normal being someone that isn't part of the normal to talk about like abnormalities, I guess.
Yeah, because like it was just like there was a fine line, and I didn't know where the line drew, you know. And like I'm assuming that like,
because I feel that,
you know, like.
Yeah.
You always have to watch out for the white friends. I feel like
you
wait for them to say something offensive, and you're like,
because
well,
like at first I'm like,
and you don't know how to take it.
You like what like you all in the back of my head I'm always like, are they like this, or like would they say something like this? So I would never like, this sounds so bad, but like I wouldn't know if I could trust them until like you get into a certain level in your friendship.
Oh yeah, no, I can relate heavy to that because that happened like my senior year, yeah, because I know I guess you can call them friends kind of, but I know a lot of people just from working landscaping, playing football and all that kind of stuff. And I remember this one guy from when I worked with him back in landscaping, he's like, yo, hey Gerard, you should see this. And it was a group chat of, I almost knew every person.
Dang, I remember this shit.
Yes, but
Whoa,
I
what?
was friends with a lot of these guys, all of them white.
Wait, can we say it and then cut it out?
It's gonna have the hard R in there.
Yeah.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like the people that.
Are you gonna name drop right now?
I'm not gonna name drop.
All right, I'm not
don't
gonna
have
name
to.
drop because that shit is your information.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want me to cut it out, I'll cut it out. But like you can be as vague as you want.
Cause he took that shit up to bees it.
Well, how it happened is he showed me the group chat, and in it was just a bunch of just racist shit. Look at it, just like
Really? And
just a
what
bunch
kind of
of-
group was this? Was this like your friend group, or was this like
no, these
was
are
this just like guys you like played football with?
well, these were guys who I played football with. Some of them construction guys, and just people who I knew in the school. I wouldn't say that it was like like a friend
in our
group.
high school.
Like a school friend
Yes.
type of vibe.
Yeah, but it was like, of course,
Construction.
Yeah.
Bro, this motherfucker had like 18 jobs
Believe
right
me,
now.
I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. You know.
Ever since Mystic Lake
So-
kicked him out, bro.
So I remember it was like a bunch of just bunch of just racist shit, and I'm like, are you serious?
And memes
And-
about that shit.
yeah,
It was
a
like
bunch
pictures
of
of like some.
Just jokes and whatnot.
Oh my
and
God.
I remember,
Say the name of the group chat.
I don't remember what the name of the group chat
It was remember it was the hard R, full bunch of swastikas and like were like
Oh my
racist shit.
god.
And, like,
But I remember, it took me a minute to kind of think of a response for it, because I remember like one of the guys, it had hurt me the most, because it was like, out of all the guys, I was probably pretty close to him, because I remember he had transferred over to Prior Lake back in like middle school, and I kind of
Right.
helped him feel kind of more connected and whatnot, because he was kind of like that lonely kid. So I kind of took him in.
It be
and
your
was kinda
own
hanging out with
people.
him. What's up?
It be your own
That's
people.
what I'm saying. It'd be your own ones.
It be-
You know, so I took him in, and I was just kind of just like there for him and helping him out. So for him, it was the biggest shock. And originally, I was gonna post like a threat in the group chat, like when I see you, it's on site kind of thing. But then,
Damn.
I decided I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. I literally just took a picture of my face, and I have never seen so many people leave a group chat so fast.
Wait, they
Like-
didn't know that you.
They didn't know I saw what was in the group chat. Like they didn't add me to the group chat. No, like I only knew of the group chat because.
So are you saying that most of these people in this group chat was white?
Oh no, they all were white, all of them.
all of them.
Yeah,
What?
of course. They were all white people, and the only reason why I found out about it was because of my construction worker friend. He had shown me. He's like, "Yo, take a look at this," and he showed me just the entire group chat. So when I sent the picture, they were like, "Oh shit,
Bro, what do you
Kinda
think
bail.
about like I never understood about like that person that did that.
That
I don't know.
showed-
It was
It was like kind of
mixed.
confusing because when you told me, I was like, I mean, they was in the group chat. How
Yeah.
long was this group chat on for?
I know, but there were just so many just thoughts that were chasing through my brain where I was just like, he's the last person on my mind because I didn't see anything that he had seen in it. So at the time being, I wasn't pissed with him. I was just trying to go find the dude who I had known for a pretty good time, and we had a pretty good relationship. So I remember I was in my English class, got up and I just left because I knew that the other dude was at lunch.
And this was during school?
Yeah, this is during class. So I get up, go down to lunch. all of them are at the table just kind of talking. They see me
Did you
pull
come?
up.
Oh my.
They see me pull up, and then everyone kind of gets like kind of like that ghost look, and they're just like, "Oh shit!" I sit down at the table, sitting directly across from him. I'm like, "I know what you said," and that's all I said. And he tried to like, he was stuttering a little bit, trying to go like think of something to say. I'm like, "No, like,
There's no excuse for that. Like you can never like. Damn.
It was
So,
bad.
Oh my
I
god, that like
remember-
makes my like.
You know what?
Sick.
They probably in our
So-
phones right now. Like,
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I can find their Instagram easily. And from that point on, it really started making me really not trust
A lot
white
of-
people.
yeah.
And I
we
asked them,
tried it
like,
because Gerard tried to take that shit up to. Didn't you take that shit to the?
Oh, yeah, like,
the,
the way-
the Black Student Union.
at the
first.
BSU. No, the first I went to, the principal, and I talked to them about it. Then I took it to the BSU, and the BSU, they were, that's a whole nother story, but it was just like the way it was handled was how I expected it to be handled, with some kids getting suspended, a little slap on the
At
wrist, a
the
little
end of the
something,
quarter.
you know?
At the end of the quarter. They were suspended
So-
at the end of the
So
quarter.
they got a
Wait,
long
what's-
weekend.
They got a long
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh shit, they do that. I never got spent. I don't know how that works.
I never got suspended. I got lunch detention, but I know that they got a long weekend. They didn't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
But I know that really made me question, like, what is your real motive with wanting to be my friend?
So
You
you're
know?
saying like administration didn't like really do anything
Only
about
person
it?
who I would say is Mr. Paulson. By far the realest
What
counselor.
teacher was he? Oh, the counselor.
Yeah, he was a counselor. He was a higher up, but
Was he the chubbier dude?
no. Well, I guess kinda. He had a mustache, a little beard going.
He
had
wear glasses sometimes?
Yeah. And Paulson was he was real. Like all the other ones, they kind of say all the same bullshit and whatnot. But he was like, I understand that this is crazy, And he actually tried to do something about it. I know Bezic went and he talked to me, but I know the only reason why Bezic came to me was because he did not want this getting out. He didn't want this getting
Oh
bad
my
press. So I remember he came to
God.
me. He took me out of class and we were over in the stairwell and he's just like, we're gonna take care of this. Just for right now, just don't post it. Don't.
He didn't want
you
a
know.
Jalen Crooks.
Exactly. He
Oh
didn't
my
want
God.
it on social media because at the time, I can't remember if it was that same year or a couple of years prior in the school
homecoming
play.
thing?
Well, no, I'm talking about it was over in PL because BLM was actually gonna pull up over at Prior Lake because there was a school play, and I think in it had something to do with slavery, and it turned south, and I remember there was some big shit
What do you
going on.
mean?
I don't know the full deeds on that, but I do know that
Bro,
some.
Twitter
This was
going
during
off
our
that day.
school?
Yes.
Yes.
Like our time in school?
Yes. I remember Gerard was telling me about this shit during a webpage programming. So that was a sophomore year. And it was at the same time too. I think it was in Burnsville. There was that one sign, that girl that got asked, but with the cotton picking sign.
Oh, wait, was that at our
What-
school?
No, no,
This
no.
is me.
That was in
Oh, no,
Burnsville.
but
What
yeah,
irritates
okay.
me the most about that is why the hell did she take that picture with him? Why did she feel
Apparently,
okay
no.
with-
Apparently,
Wait.
what happened is that the girl and that guy had like a joking friendship like that.
But as a
But it's like, why would you make that shit
as a
public,
fellow
bro?
black
Literally.
person,
Also,
Why
okay,
would you
so
even
who
take
was
that
white,
picture?
who was not?
the white guy it was a white guy who I gave the poster, to
poster.
the white girl to the black girl, and she proceeded to go take the picture, and that's what irritates me the most. Is it's like
And she was
you
okay
saw
with that?
Exactly. It's almost like it looks like she was like okay with the poster. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like not realizing that your ancestors were literally like all the
Yeah.
tragedies
I feel
that
like
took place.
when you're in such a predominantly white area, it skews your like mindset of like what is okay and what is not, and at that point, people are just like opinionated about like saying all that stuff. Like
It's not even
Why-
opinionating. So
why-
why the fuck do you need to say it?
Oh, just
no,
like,
because that girl was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, why didn't she like?
Honestly, I feel like in those situations though, people know, like she probably knew that was wrong, and it's just like I just can't say
They're
anything,
just
or like
it's just like an adrenaline rush for them. Like dead ass. It's just an adrenaline
Just-
rush.
I would have been
Dumb.
like, hell no. Like, why would you say that to me? Like, what right in your mind is okay for that?
And what's disappointing is when white people see when they see like minorities and they see people like they're okay with that, then they're like, oh, okay, they think it's okay. Like one of my homeboys, I remember he called me, he said one time, and I remember I looked at him, I'm like, homie, bro, you can't say that shit to me. And he's like, oh, my bad, bro. My
My
other
bad,
black
my bad.
friend, he lets me say that to him, so I thought it was okay. And it's like, no, you gotta realize all black people are different. There is no card. There is no, oh no, I have the N-word pass now. Like, no, you just don't say that shit around me. And I know once I had told him that, he stopped, and I could respect that. But it's just like how some people are okay with white people stepping boundaries, and white people begin to think like that's okay for everybody to say to anyone.
Right.
You know, and it's just like, I would rather it be just like keep them on the same page and kind of be like, no, there's certain things you can't do because that's disrespectful to us. You know.
So I got a question then. So let's say like your homie that said that to you, and you were like, "That's not cool. Don't be saying that shit." And then he understands it. He realizes it. He apologizes and never does it again.
Yeah.
Would you still think of him like, no, I would not fuck with this guy?
No, I
Like, would you be able to like be their friend if they like completely understood like what was wrong with it, and they would just be dumb as fuck, like don't ever say that shit again?
Yes, it's crazy because we are homies. Like literally to this day we're still homies. You know, and I don't ever hold it against them because it was like I kind of have this thing where it's like if it's ignorance, okay, then you didn't know, because I genuinely think he did not know. And I feel like if he knew it would offend me, he wouldn't have said it. Because, I don't know, since that point, never had another issue of that sort.
But but that brings the question, like, what if he does it behind closed doors? What if he, like, does it with, like, well, he just, like, doesn't say it around you?
Well, I believe that's almost all white people.
Any white person
who says that I'm okay with saying this on air. If any white person who says that they don't say the N-word, they're
captain.
They're lying. I know behind closed doors they say that shit. Like, dude, like.
If it's in a song, if it's with a friend, they don't care.
Well, okay, in a song I do find exception. That's the only area where I do.
What about what Kendrick Lamar said, bro?
Okay, but then with that he set up. But with that, I do believe that he set her up. I think that Kendrick Lamar set up that white girl because if he knew Mad City. Like, I think I counted on my hand. Just in the chorus alone, there's like...
He didn't set her up.
They said the N-word like 5+ times. If I'm at a concert, why the hell would I pull up a white person to go sing my song with me if I know there's words that I want her to blur out? If anything, why wouldn't I pick a minority? Why wouldn't I pick a black person? Why wouldn't I pick...
Hey, bro, if she doesn't say it, his song proves it. If she says it...
You know what you want with my N-word? You know, it's just like... Literally.
I mean, she doesn't have to say N-word. She can just blur it out.
But the thing about it, if I'm at a concert and I want one of my fans to sing my song with me, why would I pick a white person when I know that there are words I don't want her to use? Like you have such a large majority of people. Why would you pick the only white? Why would you pick the white person? Why? I think that was a complete setup. 100%.
Okay, what about Auntie Annie, the new song with a bunch of F words? Bella brought up a good point. Why would he say that much if he isn't gay?
Well, I just think it's one of those things where like he was trying to prove a point with the song, and it's like you could have proved that point doing it literally any other way than like repeating that word and being like, but if you white person can't say the N-word, well then why?
Well, no, and I do agree. I feel like the message could have easily been portrayed without using those words. Yeah. I think the reason why he did it was to really push that point of ignorance. Just like going back with my other friend, ignorance. Because during that song, he talks about when he was young with his homies and what they used to say.
But then going back to your point then, if your friend keeps on saying it behind closed doors, it's just still ignorance then.
No, that's not ignorance anymore. That's intentional. But the thing about it is you can't catch that. You can't catch any of that. I don't know what, honestly, think about it. When I leave, I don't know what you're saying behind closed doors. You could be saying anything, you know?
That's
vice versa. So I can't control it. I only focus on what I can control, what I hear, what I know you said kind of thing. And that's why kind of jumping into a different part of the same subject is I think the only way to truly stop like racism is for white people to actually kind of call out that shit. Because, you know, it's to the point, exactly. You know,
they won't.
Any of them.
They won't.
Don't worry, 2050, I got y'all.
They won't. But the thing about this, that is like the only way I can see there being an actual change in racism is I don't think it can be done by minorities because
it's going to be South America.
Because we can literally speak all we want, march all we want, riot all we want. But, you know, once they go home, behind closed doors, you know, like, that mindset's still the same. You know, like, white people, they still think the same way. You know, they're not going to change that unless it's somebody who was like them who's telling them not cut that shit out. That's not cool. You know? That's the only way I can see change with that.
Yeah. I respect that. That really wrapped, we literally went off track because I was asking, the initial question that I asked was about our parents. Something about, like, if you ever had strict parents.
Yeah, bro.
That was good. I think that was a good discussion. I think that was nice. Okay, so to wrap up, are you guys ready for the last question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing I
Wait,
wanted-
can we talk about the present shit?
The what?
The shooting.
We can eventually, but I want to wrap this up in like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay,
I don't
okay,
think
okay, fair
I think we need a little more time for that. Okay, so something.
How long are you here for?
What you mean? What you mean?
Okay.
Okay, so.
That's a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah, stay lit.
The last question is, what's a parenting trend that you strongly disagree with? So, for example, I put in like iPad kids, comparing your kids, removing doors, scolding for failure, overprotection, yada yada yada. Like, obviously, I feel like we agree with all of the ones that I just said. But what's something that you've personally experienced that you would not necessarily ever try to put into your parenting lifestyle?
Crying to get them to stop to do something.
What?
Yeah,
Wait.
My
What does that mean?
my mom would cry about things that I would do to try to get me to stop. It's like not
It's that remorse that they're trying to make
like
you
not
feel.
only if I do it again, will I feel extremely guilty for doing it constantly over and over again,
Mhm.
but also like it's just it doesn't like really make me like you can teach like not to do something by not having consequences.
Say that again?
My mom was crying, so I would have a consequence because this is preferring like my mom was bawling her eyes out when she found out I was smoking weed,
Okay.
bawling her eyes out, right? And it did not do anything for me to stop it. Just except every single time I smoked weed,
You would hide it from her.
I would hide it way more because I did not want the same reaction, and it doesn't do anything like to be over. I guess what I'm saying is being overly emotional, like when you're like trying to parent. Like I feel
Joe,
like.
you can check it again.
Yeah.
You can keep going, Zach.
No, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I feel like being over. I feel like you have to get the emotion out and then realize what you're trying to teach.
Okay.
Type of deal.
Okay. Yeah. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about what would your parenting lifestyle be?
I feel like one thing maybe my parents or my mom specifically used to go through me and my siblings' phones a lot. Like even when there's like nothing, like I'm not hiding anything, but it's like
My parents do that shit.
it felt
You should
so-
have like an unsaid trust.
yeah, literally, or like I guess along that like those lines, it was like it wasn't just our phones too. It was like anything that like is in my room or my house, my parents own. So like
Mhm.
they have the right to go through my drawers. That's why like I
Mhm.
never was able. Like my friends had vapes and like they would have them in their room, and I'm like I couldn't even do that because if I put it in my underwear drawer at the back of the drawer or beneath the thing, my mom is gonna find it. Like she's gonna look through that shit one
That's
day
why I started
randomly.
splitting
and
my
find
weed
it.
up. I split my weed up into
Yeah.
different flannels and had different weed packages in case one got found. I got more for the other one. You know.
No, I was happy though. For a long time, my mom didn't know how Snapchat worked, so like she didn't know that. She knew that you could like tap the photos and see them, but she didn't know you had to swipe to see messages. So like that was a good thing because I'm glad like she never was able to like see that. But I think she knows how that works now, so I feel bad for my sisters. But I'm good.
And Gerard?
I would say ass whoopings. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Like the amount of times
I would never like. Why would you want to instill beating your kid as a consequence?
I know. All I did, because I was primarily my dad, especially as I got older. And my mom, she used to whip me back when I was like elementary school. But as I got bigger and I got older, it was only my dad who would be doing that. And it was just like, all it did was to just maybe instill fear into my pops. I remember I literally went to my mom and dad and I said, Mom, I am afraid of Dad. Like, I fear this dude. I'm not seeing him as my dad, I just see him as just someone who just hurts me, kind of. And I remember he literally told me, like, I know you're afraid of me, you know, like, just didn't care, you know, about it. And I wouldn't say I learned really anything from it. All it did is it just saw me be more sneaky. So it's like if I wanted to do something, I got my ass whooped for it. I know that I better find a better way of doing that thing to get around it. So I know my kids, like, that is something where I feel like I can get my point across without having to physically put harm to you. Because, like, what does that teach you?
So you're saying that like strict parents just made you guys more sneaky?
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
I mean, that's a trend right now on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, I keep on seeing like the strict parents only make sneaky children. Like I keep on seeing that shit over and over again, and that shit is so true.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
because it makes you think like different ways of how to like still do what you want.
Bro,
because you
I
still
learned that
want
my garage door didn't make a noise if I push it upwards. If I push up the door, it won't make a loud ass like creaky noise. So I would always like push it up and then leave. I learned that shit. I learned that my parents didn't lock the back garage, garage side exit door. I learned that Gerard would take off his screen and then he would leave through there. And then that's why he started putting blankets over that shit. Oh, it
You
was,
do what you gotta do.
literally.
I think what you're saying is like valid though, because like I feel like a lot of kids like experience what you experience because you know like
That shit's
the
sad.
older parents still have that kind of like way
It's
of
also a
parenting.
generational trauma from that shit too.
The thing about it is it doesn't teach you about the real world. You know, because in the real world, I do something wrong. Say I break something.
No one's gonna whoop you.
Exactly. No one's going to physically hit me for it and actually, punish me that way. You know, I gotta get pissed at, hey, pay me this for that. Okay, yeah, no, I can do that. You know, but no one's gonna physically put hands on me for it. You know, whether he's bad or not. You know, so it's like that doesn't prep your kids really like at all for whenever they get older. You know.
Or good cop, bad cop. My parents would always do that shit.
Yeah, because I would always go to like either my mom or my dad if I knew like one would be like. What do you mean?
No, what my mom would do is she would lay down the law. Or actually no, I guess it isn't good kid, bad cop. It's just like judge and then the executioner basically. So my mom would lay down the law, then my dad would come over and basically have to show me what I'm doing.
Pause.
Especially with the headset. Oh my.
Alright, sorry guys. One of my USBs got full, so I had to put a new one. So sorry if it got cut off.
Why don't you just cut and like recut?
What you mean? But I'm just gonna announce that. Why wouldn't I announce that?
Well, I guess never mind.
You know, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck happened?" But you know,
shout
it's
out
all
Rock.
it's all trial and error. It's easier when you figure out a system once you
If
get
the
in the
camera
motion.
doesn't work, I can record Minecraft for an hour and just send it to you.
No.
Low key, can you? Because that'd be kind of dope. Just watching.
That's what I, okay,
yeah.
cause there's this dude I watch, Dom 2K.
Mhm.
He records 2K video. I mean, just like does basketball talk for like 2 hours, and then just puts a random like League of Legends, or he puts like what's it called, the Legend of Zelda in the background. He'll just be playing that shit in the background.
That's cool. I gotta get a bunch of games for my Switch. I want to get the new
Mario's the Nintendo
sports,
Switch.
the sports.
Yeah, literally. I told you.
What do you mean? I agree with you. You just want me to pay for it.
A what?
I can buy it, and then we can play it on my
A what?
Switch.
Oh wait, can you make sure that the handle goes down?
All right. So what were we saying? We're back into it now.
Just go to the next topic. I forgot.
Because we were talking about what would you not instill in your parenting lifestyle. I think mine is I got two big things: iPad kids and being able to have a sort of.
With being an iPad kid.
But like no, Zoe, I would have to disagree because when we were kids, we didn't really have like all the technology until we were like.
Yeah, we did.
We had DSs.
No, yeah, we had technology.
No, but it's like iPad kid, but like iPad baby.
iPad
like I know people who
babies.
like give their kids like a tablet when they're like
3
1 or
years
2
old.
even, and they'll like cry and cry
If
for
they
it.
don't
Yeah,
and
but
have it.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, a little kid's gonna be playing with blocks and whatever. He can play with blocks on.
But
No,
that
but-
takes out their imagination.
I feel like
Well,
it
how so?
doesn't. I feel like it. I mean,
Okay.
if you play Minecraft, do you think it limits your imagination?
Yeah, but like we're older, like we have.
No,
But that's
feel
not
like,
what iPad babies are doing. They're going on there and they're playing Roblox, Fashion and Famous.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I was.
But, like,
you was playing Tropica. You was.
Okay, but
That's
Pop
what
Tropica's
was it?
different.
Bro,
Pop
y'all was
Tropica's
playing Pop
different.
Tropica. Y'all was playing Club
No, but I
Penguin.
wasn't
Y'all
like
was
2
playing
years
Wizards
old when I was
101.
playing that. I was like, it's like
Elementary
iPad
school.
babies.
Elementary school. It doesn't matter. Like anything
No, but
that.
like a baby, like, because those are usually, it's like you
The
just set up like a
fundamental
random
lies.
video and it's like you set up like
Yeah.
I feel
Coco
like
Melon or like some
just-
random stuff.
Do it in a way where it's like it's limited. I feel like
Yeah.
having a kid on their iPad, I don't see the problem with it. But it's like if that's the only thing they're doing.
Yeah, if
then,
they
you know,
if they're just 24/7 on it, like that's with
Yeah.
video games too. Like I
Mhm.
mean, if my parents like saw me on the video game for like 17 hours straight in the summer, right? Because there would be times where I was dead ass gaming, like straight nothing but trying to beat Skyrim 24/7, right? If they saw me doing that shit, they'd be like, go outside, play basketball or some shit.
Because my thing is that like my nieces, they're pretty good at being outside, but when they were first like heavily dependent on like iPads, they wouldn't have the same creativity that I did when I was a kid, where they would like think about outside of the box. Like for example, like when I told one of my nieces to draw something for school, she couldn't think of anything, and it was like a pretty simple drawing. Like it wasn't anything crazy, it wasn't doing anything. So what she did was she like took like a YouTube tutorial, traced it over the paper, and then used that, where she didn't have any creativity outlet for that. Like her creativity outlet is her iPad, where it thinks for her.
But in a sense, that's almost her just using her resources. If anything, I almost think I'll be almost in like
No,
impressive,
That's the
because
thing,
it's
though.
like
It's like, because then it's like,
Because my sister, she does Procreate shit. She knows how to do the little stop motion shit. I remember when we were going to flying down to Mexico one time, she literally did a whole animation of like hello, and she did like the tracing 17,000 times.
Okay, that's
And it
an
was
exception.
So
That's an exception.
That's impressive. You
But
know?
but I feel like I agree with Bella though. Like I feel like that like iPad babies where they're heavily dependent on that, and like they just
I feel
I feel like
helps
you're
them.
just
no,
Well,
I
no,
feel
I'd
some
say
cases like
dependency
an
is wrong.
yeah, like an iPad, because you're giving
It's
the
not
kid
a
the
drug.
iPad to calm them. But that's like the thing.
Like in the
there's
future,
studies about
future,
like
But it could
Coco
be-
Melon and stuff, where it's like the way that like Coco Melon, like the like TV show will like switch from like, what do you call it? Like
It's
scene
supposed
to
to be
scene and, like,
addicting. It's
yeah,
supposed
it's
to be
supposed to
addicting.
be addicting. So
But
then
so is everything that
No,
we
but
watch
then
on
it's like-
TV. Everything that we
Yeah.
watch on
Oh, yeah.
TV, every website that we go on is Instagram, social media.
we
It's
didn't have
supposed to
Instagram till we were like
middle school.
10.
yeah, but like
That's hella young.
no,
like,
but
no, but still, like from when
That's
you're
half
zero,
of our life.
When you're 0 to
That's
10,
half of our life.
yeah, exactly. So when you're 0 to 10, you like didn't have all that kind of stuff.
I had
But now-
Facebook in elementary school.
But now they're like super. But like that was different. They're like you see things on TikTok that like
I was on Facebook
That-
playing
that-
Facebook games all the time.
no, like I'm saying like TikTok videos that like my nieces watches. They're already exposed to that kind of stuff where we're already supposed to right now at our age.
I remember
So, like,
my little sisters. They were on Netflix
feel
when
like-
they were
I
like
feel like
little
it's
like
good.
kids, like on their iPad, right?
I don't feel
And
like
they were
it's
watching
bad.
like the most inappropriate stuff because they just like they didn't have any like there was no parental.
I was
control on
watching.
that,
I was
like,
watching a bunch of inappropriate shit. I was.
but they were like 4 or like 5, and it's
Yeah.
like they're babies. They're super like under like development right now.
All
like,
of the TikTok sounds like
Yeah.
like my niece knows. Like there's that one TikTok sound that was like "Give me your coochie" or something like that. she would phrase that, and I'm like, yo.
Okay,
like-
no.
I mean, I don't think it's bad though. I mean, there's.
I think
I
it's-
swore
I
all
think
the
it just
time.
rewires your brain much differently, and
I
it's
feel like we have to give them some time. This is the first generation. I mean, every generation goes through it. Every
No, but-
generation goes. We were the generation that technology is supposed to ruin our brains. The ones before was the newspaper. The ones before it was fucking books. The ones before it was reading on a tablet from Stone.
I know, but now that we've had technology, there are studies that show that like those kind of like shows or like TV or games even like on like for people that are not
Okay, but
people,
now they are
babies,
also saying video games kill people. Like they're trying to ban
Okay,
GTA.
yeah.
Okay,
Exactly. That's
but-
what I'm.
But
that's not it's like study based. That's
It is.
Like, well,
no,
that's
It
they
is.
did
It's
take
It is?
No, it is. It's a study based where they see like if you play GTA, are you gonna be more angry afterwards? And their study shows that yes, if you're playing shooting games all the time, you're gonna be in higher stress situations, 24/7. So that means that your body is gonna be anxious 24/7.
I don't know. I think it's also different though to compare that between like a baby who is like between the ages of 1 and 5. Like they're not playing GTA and they're not playing those kind of video games. Like
me
they're
in
watching.
middle school, I was playing GTA because I was playing
Well,
the
that's
GTA.
middle school. That's not when you're younger than
I feel like
5
that's
No,
the
because
most
when I
important
was a
part of the
kid-
development part cycle. Like middle school and high school, I feel like is the most important. Like compared to like.
But no, for like development, for like
Like-
there's so much like speech, being able to read.
But how much more do you
count,
learn
like, all
on?
that.
How much do you learn on TikTok?
No,
But the
but,
thing
like, this
about
is
it, I feel like the
beginner.
thing about it is the one thing that kids have that we don't have now at our age is innocence. And I feel like going on like TikTok and stuff like that, you're exposed to so much shit.
There's-
And it's like
feel like
when
that's
you're
good.
well, no, but it's like
It's-
enjoy,
bro, our
enjoy
world is
enjoy not
fucked.
knowing. Enjoy not knowing that though, because think about it. If you know your world is fucked when you're like 5, what's the point of growing up?
I mean,
what's
bro,
the point of going out there and living in a world
That is
that's
not
like,
the kids' fault.
you
That
know-
is the parents' fault. The parents got us to this situation where our world is fucked
But
over,
eventually,
right?
we're gonna become those parents though, and that we're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
and we're
in
gonna
those
have to learn
shoes.
how to transverse that. That's the
right.
thing.
But I
But
know,
like, it's
at least
it's
for the
not the kid's
longest-
fault. It
for
would
the
not be.
longest,
It's,
I'm going to do my best
It is-
to try and keep my kid from seeing all that shit, especially as they're growing up, because they're gonna have to experience it from the time they turn 18 on up till they die. Why would I want to expose them to that when they're 7? You know, I want them to enjoy.
I mean,
the
I agree with
innocence.
you, but I think it's also whatever. I don't know how hard the kids are really thinking about it. Like, I mean, they are kids, and it's not the innocence. I feel like it's the whole not getting the whole picture. Like, we
Right.
understood at the same time that we was different, like, colors, right?
Yes.
but we didn't fully like captivate slavery, Jim Crow.
Until
we didn't
got older.
until we got older.
Right.
But that's the same thing with TikTok. TikTok doesn't go into that deep, right?
It does.
But
It-
it does.
but
It
that's
depends
the
on
thing.
where you
It's
are.
your
on
it
TikTok.
cultivates it to your own personality. A kid's gonna see a shooting, right? They're gonna watch it for 5 seconds, and then
A
the next
shooting
one's
is-
gonna be a fucking a kid farting.
But why
The
would
next
I want
one's
my
gonna
kid
be a
to
kid
see that,
dancing.
though? Why don't I want
Literally.
to see my kid?
But I don't want
having
them to
a-
have to
9/11, bro.
like,
9/11
when-
happened during
Right, but
our
even
time.
so,
and
we
then
didn't even
it was-
understand.
You weren't alive
We
during
didn't-
9/11.
but I
I know,
wasn't
but even
alive.
still, we didn't even understand the full damage 9/11 had until we got older.
Yeah,
we
that's what
learned
I'm
about it.
saying.
We
Like,
so, like,
but
we,
I got to be a kid. Like when I was a kid, like the things that I would do for fun is go outside and play with my friends, go play with chalk. But like now, what? Like
I mean,
some
kids
of-
are playing through the TVs. It doesn't really
But I mean,
matter.
it's different though too. I've heard a lot of stuff about like, are people who are like concerned that like it's maturing children too fast, and like,
What's the problem with that?
well, no, because like a
Enjoy
lot
your
of like,
youth.
You should
if you look at
enjoy your
TikTok
youth
and look at like
kid.
little kids like between like the like tween ages like up to like 15,
I mean, doesn't
it's
that
like
speak to the society more than what
yeah,
it is?
but it's
I
like
mean,
it's
that's a
what they're
problem,
exposed to
though.
because like kids are getting hypersexualized at the age of like 12 for wearing like a one-piece bathing suit in the
Yeah,
pool
you're
and
ta-
taking a TikTok.
what's
of
her
it.
name from Stranger Things? When Dr. Dre.
Oh, Drake.
Drake.
oh my.
Because that was a scandal with her
yeah.
because, and especially with, what's it called? The singer, Billish or
Billie
Eilish.
Eilish.
Billie
Billie
Eilish.
Eilish,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, no, she wasn't controversial because she was like wearing some shit.
You know, because I feel like they kind of like ruin those kids.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's because
maturing them too early.
they in a spotlight. There's a
Oh, yeah.
difference. They're under a microscope. Of course, they're gonna want to try to seem more adult.
But
But
it's
I
not
feel-
even like I can see it in my sisters too. Like they're 4 to 6 years younger than me, and it's like when I was 13.
I would have
I-
liked to know this stuff since I was 13.
No, but
personally.
no,
wouldn't.
not. It's not about knowing stuff. Oh shit! It's like at the age like when I was at the age of 13, my life was completely different. Like my perspective on life was completely different than theirs. Like they are like I would consider my siblings to be like very mature for their age, and like that's not necessarily like
I mean,
oh
but
you're
the
mature
best
for your
thing.
age.
No,
That's
it-
good. It's like
Like
But it-
enjoy
no.
your youth. Like
I
why,
mean,
why do you
they-
want to
they-
grow up
something
so
about it
fast?
is you're not gonna be young
Like,
forever.
I feel like they do enjoy like their youth. I mean, they're still kids, right? They still have their iPads. They're not talking to you. They might talk to you about it for like 5 seconds, right? Then the next thing they're back at going like playing on like scooters. They're going back on doing whatever they want. Like, yes, is it gonna be more exposed? Of course, because we're in like a point where information is passed on like 3 seconds into it like being shown, right?
It's more accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if I can limit that,
I personally
going to do
wouldn't
what I
want to limit
can,
that. I
just
personally
because
wouldn't.
there's so much more to
Okay,
life
that's fair.
outside of technology that a
I
lot
feel
of
like-
people just don't realize.
I feel like kids.
And-
I feel like kids are gonna be able to at least talk to older people way more than adults are to each other,
Mm.
because clearly, what's her name, Greta, the little Swedish girl.
Oh, with the environmental.
Yeah, her shit went way more viral than any other shit I've ever seen any adult do. So
How old is she?
14, 16, 17
Okay,
now,
but
at
that's
the
different.
time-
Like
at the
Bella and
time
I
she
are
was like
talking about
13.
like the prime ages when you're just like an infant, toddler.
I mean, shit. Do you want? I mean, Congress people have grandkids. They grandkids come up to them and they're like, "Oh, we saw another shooting," or "We saw." Like,
wait, why does that remind me of when President Snow's granddaughter was wearing
that's
her
what
hair
I'm saying.
Katniss
It's
braids?
just like, yo,
Hunger
What?
Games? Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
yeah, like that shit. I feel like that shit will really like finally like settle on them. Like, damn, I really fucked up.
No, but that's not. We're not even talking, or at least what I'm not talking about is like shootings and stuff like that. I'm just talking about like how, like technology, like when you're at an age where you're trying to learn how to walk and you're trying to like figure out how to like hold a
It's
certain
second
thing and
nature.
squeeze.
I feel like it's second nature to
still
them
have
at this point.
No, but it's like their brain is completely different from an elementary school kid's brain because they haven't even developed the ability
And especially
to like,
when our
like-
elementary school, in comparison, our elementary school kid brain.
yeah,
I mean,
literally.
in that
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not bad exposing them to so much information.
I mean, it's not bad to expose them to information, but
like
it's
to
like
be aware, but it's also like
it's like
they're a child.
yeah.
I
I mean, it's
mean-
like the same way like candy aisles are marketed towards like where they have like the light shining on them. It's like the same stuff like the kids are gonna be watching on TV. It's marketed to get them addicted to it, and then that's. But it's
I
like
feel
when
we
they're
went through the
babies.
same shit, but it's not as blatantly obvious to us as we think.
I mean, but what shows did we have as kids? We didn't have Cocomelon. We had
We had PBS.
PBS, which is like We had
PBS still stands to this day as one of the best television programs
literally.
because they know what they're doing. Because
yeah, but people
they're
aren't
trying to
watching
educate.
People are watching Cocomelon. People are watching or adults are giving their children shows that will keep them occupied and like it's making their minds addicted to the show.
They can put their brain on autopilot.
Yeah, and that's not what you want with kids.
I want them to go into manual, shift gears, be able to like do all this stuff without like I wasn't even talking into the mic, without like even like just being able to like not have to like shut their brain off. And I'm not necessarily saying that like they're gonna stop completely shutting their brain off, but I'm saying like
I feel like they do and they don't.
I feel like this could change, but I feel like us, when we had like some sort of like balance between that, our brains know when to shut it off and don't. When kids were like already like prematurely trying to like already be conditioned to that, that's all they're gonna know. That's all they're gonna be conditioned to.
They're gonna have to adapt.
And so like, but that's the same. I'm saying like, what if they can't adapt because that's all they're gonna know? You know how like people like when they haven't had adaptable things, they just don't stay out of they stay in this little bubble where we had that balance between that.
I feel like a bubble needs to be burst at one point or another. I feel like the earlier it happens, yes, does it suck? But I feel like it's not as bad.
But I mean, it's not that it sucks. Or that it's like it's just like it's scientifically proven to like disrupt childhood development or like infant development, but not even just like
they're gonna get it way worse than we have. That's all I know.
Yeah, well, literally.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that sucks. I wouldn't.
That's not a good thing.
I wouldn't want to like have my kid do that until like they get some little.
Okay, what age?
I mean, age it depends on like your like boundaries and rules too.
Like exposing everything, I'd say 16.
I'd say 15. I feel like that varies kid to kid though. Depending on like how they develop and where they're at that time.
I agree, but I don't know. At certain points, I have to tell, like, I'm planning to tell my brother a lot of things when he turns 15 and 16. There's a lot of shit a guy has to know about in that certain time frame. And then I'm going to tell him the same thing for my sister. There's a lot of shit that you got to know. But if they already have a little bit of a grasp of what they're trying to, like, understand from whatever they're watching, I mean, Cocomelon isn't the kid's fault. It's the creator's fault, right?
It's the creators, and it's like it's an easy option for parents
so
it's so addicting.
Let's not blame the parents. Don't blame it. Like, I mean, blame the parents because you can't blame the video game for what your kid is doing. Is your bad parenting. So it's the kids. I mean, it's not the kid's fault. It's the parents' fault.
So you're just saying that's just up to the parents now.
It's completely up to the parents because you're the one that controls what they see. I mean, if you want your kid to be playing video games 24/7, don't give a fuck what's on the iPad. Go ahead.
So you agree with us then?
What you mean?
That it's up to parents to like control that kind of stuff depending on what they want their kids to be exposed to.
Yeah, but I feel like you also don't want to create a SpongeBob like kid.
Like which one?
Like those kids that didn't watch SpongeBob as growing up. They weren't allowed to watch Nickelodeon because there are those kids.
Yeah,
so.
There's parents that are like that.
So I mean, censor it as much as you do, but they're gonna be massive. What is it? FOMO? Fear of missing out.
Yeah,
they're gonna get that.
There's definitely a limit to like what you can.
Because I mean, they're gonna be going to elementary school, and I'm guessing there's some parents that don't like talk to them about that shit, or they're gonna be like, "Did you see this shit on Cocomelon?" And they're gonna be like, "The fuck is Cocomelon?"
I feel like there's a give and take.
And now they gonna get a new best friend who they gonna be watching Cocomelon with.
Oh, no.
Well, it's a give and a take, Like you could allow certain things, but then maybe don't allow so much of another thing, I wouldn't just say just cut it all out, from those kids who they want SpongeBob, no chowder, no nothing. I'm like, dude, what did you grow up on, man? But it's like you can give and take,
Bro, my sister doesn't know what SpongeBob was. She has never seen an episode.
Your parents didn't let her watch SpongeBob?
Oh yeah, they do, but it just doesn't run anymore.
I mean, it's not as good anymore now.
Yeah, it runs like randomly.
The reruns are like good, but like the new ones, they don't hit the same.
It's not the same. No.
They don't hit the same.
No, the classic. That's
well, I guess that was a pretty good discussion. I really liked how we all like had something to say about it, especially at what our different mindsets are, because that kind of also brings into my second thing of what I would want to not instill in my kids was like being overprotective and also just like being able to tell me how they feel a lot, like being able to like have their emotions in my safe space. Like they can come home to like me and like say whatever they want, and I'm not, if I don't like it, I can give my word on it, but I also just want them to have the comfort of being able to tell me how they feel and what kind of emotions they're feeling in such a young age, because I'm their parent. I should be able to like have that kind of
I don't want to baby them
trust.
too much either.
I'm not gonna baby them. Hell no. I want them to learn how to be like independent as I was, but also like
J.
differently.
J. Cole said, I don't want my kid to be no snitch or bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. So I think this wraps everything up. So we learned from today that a lot of white people are racist.
Parenting is difficult.
Control your kids at...
I mean, this is coming parenting advice from a 20-year-old who has never
Yeah.
had a child, and I have experience with a middle schooler and a 6-year-old brother and sister. So, I mean, all this shit that I see about, like, what my sister's doing, I don't think is bad. Like, if she watches Coco Melon, my parents do not restrict her iPad whatsoever. And I don't think it's a bad thing, personally. I mean, I agree with, like, the whole, ooh, you should probably watch what they're watching, but I feel like you're just gonna be like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, that's what basically what my parents do, and then she just switches. That's literally it. So
Yeah, we learned a lot about parents, what's it like with them, and kind of like what we would take from it.
literally,
Moral of the story is
we're all fucked.
we're all fucked.
Literally.
All right, we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to go out and like hang out in the city and something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Bird.
go do that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you guys so much for watching or listening. We'll see you next time. We're out. That was good.
Literally.
That was really fun. I really liked that. Oh my God.